Hello, good evening, and welcome to Garblag Games, where I might sound a little robotic tonight, apparently. We are back at it with episode 3 of Lex Arcana, Spectres of the Past, and these are my wonderful players below me. And I'm going to start all the way that side, over there with Aaron.
Hey everybody, I'm Aaron. Today I will be playing Aleko Casimir, or Kaza to his friends, the Illyricum native fighter who is a little in over his head, but hoping to protect his companions in the battle to come.
Good luck with that. Dan,
Yeah.
how's Pandaren?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Dan. This week, I will be playing my Augur character, which has suddenly just dropped off. I've been kicked out of Roll20.
Oh, okay then. Yeah. So tell us a bit about Pandaren based on your memories of him.
Well, he is an Augur. He is of British Isles descent. He was taken away from his tribe/clan at a very early age and taken to Rome for training. So it's a little bit of both when it kind of comes to his style of, well, not magic, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, Lawrence.
Hi, I'm Lawrence. I'm playing Lucius Cassius Aeneas. He's a patrician Roman scholar whose specialization is everything but the combat that is looming very, very large in our collective future.
Okay. And lastly, but by no means leastly, Roger.
Hi, I'm Roger, and I'm playing Titus Sergius, who is an explorer from Ratia, which is kind of think modern day Switzerland, Austria type area. And I'm hoping to be able to cheese it away, leaving everyone else to totally take this. Go on, Aaron, you've got this one.
I'll do my best.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you spotted them first, and because I'm
That's
a
right.
good GM, I went back and watched it, the end bit a bit. So you did say you had your bow drawn. Anyway, Roger, you also kindly got volunteered to do the recap.
I'm so sorry about that because I got it in my head that Roger was actually not it last week, and then I went back and checked the video as well.
Ouch.
It's all right. I'll remember to return the favour next week, Dan.
No doubt.
Right. So last week we set sail from. No, we didn't. We had arrived in ports. We're in Greece, aren't we?
You're in
Illyricum.
northern Italy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Sort of
so
the
we'd
border with, Illyricum.
Okay, so we'd arrived in port and we'd made our way north to a Roman camp, where at the camp we found everyone was just a real shit show, to put it in a term that someone that had been in the army would understand. No one knew what the arse from their elbow, and Aaron decided to slap them around a lot to actually try and bring them into some kind of resemblance of an actual military organization. Before heading on to there was a lot of weirdness. There was something stalking the camp, but we couldn't quite figure out what it was.
Well, in the middle of the night, we saw an army of dead move near the castra and head towards the road. And that's when the men in the castra said, as long as you stay inside the walls, you're fine. But if you step 1 foot outside of the walls, you die. They'll kill you.
But I know the next morning when we poked around, I found some tracks, but it was only for a single individual. But anyway, so after that, we headed off to the senator's house or villa. We found the two sons who were like, yeah, he's a bit. So we spoke. Well, I didn't, because if I spoke to him, things would have gone really wrong, and somehow we'd have been at war.
Pandaren really.
Lawrence and Dan spoke to them.
Yeah.
Well, I had a look around outside and found some very similar tracks, I believe, to the ones I'd found outside the camp.
Also, another one. Well, one of those little bushels of herbs.
Yep.
Yeah, weird thing, which I'm sure definitely won't come back to bite us. So after everyone was done with all the talking, we went, right, okay, time to head back to the camp. Started bimbling our way through this lovely, glorious bit of countryside on this wonderful day, and suddenly bandits.
Yep, that's pretty much where we left it. You were indeed on your way back and passing through the rows and rows of vineyards outside Drusus Calvus's estate when Titus, I think, noticed heard 3 pairs of footsteps nearby and was thus very unsurprised to see 3 men stalking around you, preparing to attack with knives in hand. So last week we determined that basically because of Titus's fantastic roll, you have the drop on them. So I'll let you decide first what you're going to do, and probably this round of combat they won't be able to react.
So Kaza is going to move into the vines and engage both of these guys using his fighter's special ability, a hero's duty. With his, he's got his shield or his Clypeus settled on his left, and he's using his Enos or his sword, and he is going to strike them down with furious vengeance.
I thought you were going to sit back and watch.
That seemed like the wrong thing to do.
Oh, okay.
Slightly out of character.
Can you move your token? Just to
I can.
check, mostly. Yep. Okay, that's good. Before anyone gets into close combat, though, are there any volleys that you'd like to do?
I want to shoot someone.
Yeah. Go for it.
I'm going to shoot that guy that Aaron hasn't occupied, because that puts me in danger, and I don't like that.
This one over here.
That's fair.
Yep, this guy right here.
Yeah, that's okay. It's going to be at short range, but they are partially obscured by the hedgerows. So rather than a 3, it will be a 6 difficulty to hit with your ranged bow attack, which is usually a debello, but I think you can use the natura.
I can use the natura, yeah. Do other people declare what they're doing before I do things?
No, basically it goes volleys first, and then everyone comes in together in a melee pairing off in duels, or in this case, Casa
Heroically
just
running away.
Picks up 2 people on his own and starts fighting them. And then you run through close combat after that. In that way, it's very similar, I guess, to the One Ring system as well, where you also have that initial ranged attack for everyone flies
given
together
that
to fight.
it's the best chance I've got of staying out of this, I've got a sling, so I will drop that and prepare a sling bullet as well.
Okay then. Yeah. So both Titus and Lucius, you can roll ranged attacks. We'll do Titus first.
Okay.
Pandaren, what are you planning on doing?
Just looking at the map.
Trying to see how far you have to run away.
Still on the road. So I might remain where I am and judge the situation. tactically assess the situation.
Yeah. So,
is it possible?
One thing of note: what is going to happen? These two, if they survive the initial ranged volley, these two are obviously caught up by Casa, but this one person is going to engage someone in close combat.
So a total of 13.
13. Yeah, that'll definitely hit. And your attack potential modifier in that case. So what did you need? A 6. The difference is 7, so times 3. So what are you firing?
I am firing a bow. And there's weapons. A short bow specifically, which is
Arcus
damage
short
6.
bow. Yeah. So damage 6. So you
18.
have 18 attack potential. So you can roll a D18 in some manner. I like that it's consistent in that basically you roll for everything. You create a dice pool for
I do
everything.
too.
Oh,
For protection, for everything.
Yeah. Yeah, because your armor works the same way as well.
I managed to get 5.
Okay.
That was a shocking roll.
You definitely have. Gonna fill that in at the top so that I remember it. You definitely managed to hurt him quite badly as an arrow slams into his shoulder as he's rushing forwards with the knife.
There's no such thing as rerolls in this, is there?
Slows him down. If you get given rerolls, you can have a reroll. Yeah. Other than that, he isn't entirely stopped and will lurch forwards towards you with his knife.
Nuts.
Unless of course, Lucius kills him.
Lucius,
with the sling.
yeah.
Yes, because Lucius has a debello of 3.
Well,
no specialisms.
You need a 6, so
I need to D3 on a 3, followed by a D3 on a 3.
There's always a chance.
Always a chance.
Let's see.
Nope.
No.
It was not a D3. Well, it was not a 3 on a D3.
Nope.
Yeah.
The sling bullet clatters into the vine, into the field somewhere.
Even though you had some warning by Titus, who then immediately loosed an arrow that you hear thunk into someone through the vineyards, you sort of try and sling in the same direction, and it goes wildly off.
Yeah.
You've definitely murdered a few grapes, but that's about it.
Kaza glances over his shoulder. He's like, "We'll work on it, Lucius. We'll work on it."
Okay. So now we're into the close combat phase, where Titus will fight the person he originally shot with the bow. Casa is going to fight those two people that he's drawn to him using his fighter talent as well. And Lucius and Pandarin can either choose to pile in to some of those or any of those attacks. Or you could, one of you could potentially, yes, it's a very, very big bonus.
Yeah.
Basically what happens is you fight the one person first, and then you fight the second person, but the second person gets to add the total of the first person's roll to their roll. Well, to their dice pool.
Cool.
So
do I still get my surprise attacks on these two fellas?
Yep. Yeah. Pandarin and Lucius gonna fly in anywhere, or
I will pile in next to I think I'll pile in here.
Yeah, just everyone is very certain that Aleko has this down.
We'll see.
Because it's got this.
Is there is there any way I can kind of call upon the favor of the gods to bless this combat to give to support the others?
Yeah, not really mid-combat. You could, but it's gonna we could roll something, but it probably by the time it would have any effect, the combat will probably be over.
In which case, I'm gonna go here.
Got any ranged weapons? Or
no, I have my club, so I'm gonna go and run in with my club.
All right.
Nice.
Everyone's just
smart dog
piling in on the very badly injured.
Well, they say many hands make light work.
Yeah.
Kaza will strike out at the one to the north first.
Yeah. So this is basically an opposed to bellow roll.
Yeah. So I got a 12, which is not great, but
check that. The people at home now know how good they are. Not very. But... Oh.
Nice.
Yeah, so you beat that by 4.
So times 2.
Times 2, yeah.
So that gives me a damage potential of a D16.
Which
crappy. 4.
Ooh. Blimey. That was indeed bad luck.
Not doing well on our damage rolls.
That was well, I think Aaron rolled all his good rolls for the day before we started. Okay. So yeah, you immediately come storming in towards these two and basically control the area, take their entire attention. As the first one comes in, your sword just lashes out and slices across their robe. There's some blood, but they don't go down, and they're sort of wheeling about now towards you. The second one comes hammering in with sicker in hand to impale you, and they are going to get +8 on their.
It's okay. I am going to invoke my Blessing of Mars and spend the 6 points to get an additional 12 to my roll. So roll D32 to resist this.
That should probably cover it. So what am I rolling? Best. And that will probably be it.
Oh, that's a good roll. But
that's a better roll.
So that's times
7 is times 3, yeah.
So that's 24.
24 damage. Potential damage. Yeah, they're just dressed in light robes. Their faces are covered.
That's a little better. 16 points of damage.
Seeing you slash out towards his comrade, he assumes that that there's an opening there and darts in with the knife, but you just spin on your heels and cut straight through his arm. It bursts off in a bleeding mess and falls to the ground and collapses with it.
He just looks, Kaza just looks down and shakes his head at him and then looks up at the next guy. He's like, let's dance.
See, we told you had this one.
You've got it. Right, who wants to go first versus that one badly injured person with an arrow in their arm?
I can try. I mean, I'm not great.
He's technically the most combat-y. I think it's Roger.
I'm really good with bows. I'm not so good with blades. I can give it a go if you guys want.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to, on the basis that whatever you do, we get bonus. We get the bonus for, and I think I'm going to need that to do anything.
Yeah.
And Darren's going to come in
Lucius
at the end.
might have to go last.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, what does my Apollo Phobius do? Divine Invocation.
I got a 3.
Let me look it up. Let me just type this and I'll look it up. So yeah, the difference is 7, which is once again a difference of 3 damage modifier, which I can quite conveniently roll as 3d4s.
Oh, my roll is appalling.
Hey, Roger, do you have a shield or you just?
Oh yeah,
I do.
It's because you're parry to that difference.
that
Take
will
it down.
change that down to. Is it what shield is it? Is it a clippus or is it
It's a
the little
palmer.
buckler?
So
So that changes it by 1. So the difference is 6. That would take it down to a 2. Let me re-roll that then. Oh. That's 5 damage.
roll your
was
And
protection.
you get
How
to
does
roll
armor
your
work?
armor against that. Basically,
So you
your
just roll
armor
it.
is points, and you roll it against that, and it reduces it by however much you. Well, I mean, it's not too bad in this case.
2. Not great.
Yeah. So you take 3 damage as the tip of the knife sort of catches your arm as you're in there parrying and fighting. The curve just comes around the side and catches you.
Where do I record being damaged?
In your character sheet, let me bring one up.
Oh, it's the left-hand boxes, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
fill those up.
Or
click those off.
Click them off. Yeah.
Them off. Yeah.
Oh,
Depend.
It
Right.
doesn't
Easiest
really matter
is to
too much
fill
to
it
get
up,
done.
the left-hand boxes to what your maximum is, and then click them off as you go down health. Because then you can click the your load boxes up depending on how much you have on you,
Okay, cool.
and then you'll see where they meet. Hey. So I'm just gonna look up that skill for Pandaren.
By spending 6 pietas, an augur who has made a Dimagia roll can use this invocation to roll the same dice combination again and add the result to a previous one.
It's usually something like that.
So
Okay.
magic 'em.
So, unless you're going to throw fairy dust in his eyes or something, I don't know. It probably won't do much now. Who's up next fighting him? You get to add a whopping 3 to your roll.
I hate to say it, Pandaren, but you're probably still better at this than I am.
No way.
What
Are
is
you
your
sure about
what's
that?
your debello?
The Velo 8.
Oh, yeah,
Mine
so
is
you'd
3.
you'd roll an 11. I mean, 11 dice pool.
Yeah,
That's
it's
not terrible.
Not bad.
Unless you roll like I do.
Yeah.
You said the Bello, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, it's
So
11
you get
to
8 plus Roger's 3. So you get 11 that you can split over 1 to 3 dice.
So 11. Oh, that's a not good number.
a D8
Yeah.
and a D3 is what I did.
D8 and a D3. All right, let's do D8 first.
Nice.
After a better
Right, because
start,
I can't
you
see anything on my screen. What did
you
I
roll
get?
You got a 5.
Okay.
and the D3.
How do you do the D? You need to.
Slash roll
Just
D3.
Slash roll
Yeah,
1d3.
slash roll 1d3.
Oh, you don't need the one, just slash roll D3 will do it.
Oh yeah, d3. Yeah. will it be?
Oh, no, wrong slash.
Slash R space D3. Or,
Thank you, Rog.
7.
Cool.
It's 7 in total. Got 6, so you're hitting with your club. Bonk. For just your normal damage, which for a club, as I have the demiurge screen up, club, is it a cudgel?
It is counts as a cudgel, yeah.
Yeah, is 4 damage.
Okay.
So yeah, you can roll a d4. Two. Okay. Yeah. As he's swinging about wildly, trying to keep you at bay, you just sort of slam him in the shins with your club and stumbles about, off kilter.
I found out what Apollo Phobius does. By spending 6 Pietas, an augur who has made a roll of the Magi can use this invocation to roll the same dice combination again and add the result to the previous one. It's actually not really to do with combat.
Lawrence.
There we go.
Lucius is up next. You get +7.
+7.
That's 10. I mean,
So that's 10.
yeah, you've all got around 11 on your dice pool. Other than Cassis, obviously, just
I think at this
32.
point, yeah. Let's go with 2d5.
Get a fate roll.
Oh, nice.
Oh, 8.
8.
Pretty good.
Ooh,
8.
cool.
Yeah, you exchange blows and he sort of swings out, keeps you back. You're a bit too worried to get in too close because it's not really your thing. And then we come back round to the top.
And Kaz is sitting there going, let's go.
Looking at his own injuries as he grabs or puts a hand over a bleeding cut in his robes, and his friend who's on the floor bleeding, he's sort of just holding his sicker out in front of him, warding you off. But
All right, let's see. I'm 11. Not great.
I mean, I'd have to roll pretty good to get more than that. So yeah,
So
I did
times
not.
2.
Yep.
So 16. Eight.
Yeah. How does he die?
So I come on and I shield bash him and drive his chin up, and then I just whip the sword across his throat as I step past him, and blood just sprays out into the vines. As I turn and look over my shoulder and go, "Get out of my way."
Yeah. And yeah, Titus, Pandaren, and Lucius, you're kind of in the few split seconds that you dare spot what Cassis is doing, you realize that he's taken out 2 people in the time it's taken you to gang up on one.
That's where I wish I could just step out and shoot him.
You, yeah, well, you're in close now. You probably could actually, if you wanted to. If you wanted to move back. Into the
I wouldn't leave the other 2 to it. I'm
Yeah.
the only one with a slight hope. I'm not that mean.
Are you going first again then?
I probably should.
Ooh.
Oh, 9. It's a lot better than 3.
It started off great though.
Yeah.
There you go,
I
one
win.
less. So
Yeah. Take that.
The wounds are taking their toll on him now. His bruised chins, a sore.
So it's
The
just
arrow
flat
is
damage.
bleeding. Yeah,
So
just a flat damage.
D6.
Death by 1,000 cuts.
4 more.
Yeah. Go on. You can tell me how he dies.
So after kind of wincing a bit, so you got hit in the ribs by the dagger, which hurt. He just kind of rather angrily just punches him in the face, and then as a distraction, and then just shoves the gladius right through his rib cage. Messy
That'll definitely
and
do
not
it.
hardly professional, but brutal.
And he slumps on your sword and then falls slowly backwards onto the ground. Yeah, all 3 of them are now lying very dead. And the
Kaza.
vineyard around you returns to some semblance of silence.
Kaza kneels down next to one of them that he killed, wipes his blade clean, and then starts patting the body down to see if he can figure out who this person is or why he was here.
Sure.
I'd still do the same to the one he just shanked unceremoniously.
So you can both give me a investigation roll.
Nuts. What's that on?
Ciencia. Or
You sure it's not some kind of hunting or exploration?
not
So
really,
over
but
his-
I'm trying to see if there's something in the natura that would fit. But it is more you're just rummaging through their things and trying to work out who exactly they are.
Using stealth to see where I would hide things if I were them.
He just
I'm afraid I'm gonna go with investigations.
Kaza yells over his shoulder, "Hey, Pindar and Lucius, what do you make of this?"
I
We
think I've
both
lost the
know.
body.
Oh, I got a 5. Oh, I got to roll again because that's a D5.
There you go.
A 9. Not great.
Second. Yep. Yeah. So in Titus's case, you're just rummaging through things, and they don't really have a lot on them. Definitely not the one that you've killed.
Do you have
They're
any money?
wearing normal clothes. They have some local currency on them.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Of irrelevant numbers because,
Yeah, but
you're
funny.
Custodes. You can, yeah. And basically dressed very locally as well. Look kind of rough. But other than that, you can't really make much out of them. Whereas Aleko, you're rummaging through the body as well. You're the one you're looking at. You're methodically going through things, trying to find any identifying marks. And you pick up on some Illyrian symbols that you vaguely remember from your childhood. There's also a note with, well, you read it. It is all. It's written like quite sharply. And it says, whoever these new people are, deal with them. And if you can find a witch, deal with her as well.
I'm assuming no signature or anything of the nature.
No. Other than that, they pretty much seem very... Yeah. They definitely didn't come to announce whoever they were.
Well, my friends, these aren't just bandits. They were here targeting us and a witch of who may be that set of tracks that you've seen, Titus. We clearly have an enemy here, and it's a mortal enemy if he's sending assassins after us.
We should find this witch.
I think you're right there, Pandaran. She may know more, obviously, than all of us.
Yes, I would like to speak to her. Or him.
I will take a look at the final body and just see if there is anything else on the last of the bodies.
Go for it.
See if I can find anything with 17.
I mean, hopefully.
Ten?
Yeah.
No, 11.
Yes.
No, for a...
It's 11.
Oh, yeah, 11. Sorry,
Yeah,
11.
Yeah. You find a lot of the same kind of things as Aleko, except for the note, obviously. But they do appear to be dressed very similar to the people that you met along the road, you realize, in just normal clothing on under their armor when you met them at the time.
Mm-hmm. Just looking at having a chance to look over the body.
Yeah.
Are these obviously fighting men with old scars, old injuries? Or are they relatively...
Two of them look very young, and the third one appears to be someone who's been around the block a few times in the era of knife fights.
Okay.
We could always drag one of their bodies back to the village and see if anyone recognizes them.
Their hands look fairly calloused as well, sort of around where they would be palming a grip. So they look like they've had some practice with it.
Do they have legionary tattoos?
No. Any tattoos you find on them are similar Illyrian symbols to the ones that Aleko found.
I mean, if we're going to haul one of them back to camp, do we have to take the whole of it?
I just
a lot lighter than a body.
Oh, I don't mean back to the castra. I mean back to the little town outside of the villa here to see if any of the locals recognize him.
Again, our head's a lot lighter.
Yeah, but if it's somebody's brother or cousin, we don't want to end up fighting the whole village. We take the body back, they can bury it. I'll just drag it.
They're still going to be pretty pissed if we haul back one of their, friends and family that you've, expertly hacked apart, or stabbed.
I don't believe that there will be anyone who recognizes them. These are quite obvious our friends from before. They may be currently living locally, but I don't believe they're locals. You said yourself. The marks are those of Illyrians. We have met Illyrians that are far more likely to be related to that group.
Lewis, can I try and see if I can track where they came from?
Well, we're in Illyria, so
Yeah. You're currently in Histria, which is sort of that bit of of northern Italia in the Roman Empire that was before they actually invaded Illyrium. They sort of there were a lot of supposed and obviously real problems with Illyrian pirates, and they told the Greeks one day, "Hey, we're going to go and sort that out," and they went there and took that entire region and said, "We sorted it out." And then after that, they took the rest of Illyria, but that was some time after. But so that's sort of been more integrated towards Italia, towards Rome itself, because it's been part of it longer.
Well, I bow to your wisdom, Lucius. I think we should head back to the castra then. We definitely don't want to be out at night.
Yeah.
Can I just have a quick look and see if I can figure out where they came from?
Yes. Yep, that'll be an explorer or hunting role. Hunting, probably.
They're the same for me, so.
There you go.
Oh, my days.
That's rough.
I think you all haven't prayed enough made sufficient sacrifices and offers to the gods.
So from my 19, I managed 7.
It's not too bad. You can't really you can track where they've been in the vineyard, and you can sort of follow the tracks leading off towards the forest and the hinterland, which is all rough terrain, hilly area behind, sort of heading back towards Polar a bit, but between it and the villa, and out towards the wilds behind that. But you can't really pin down where they went once they leave the vineyard, heading in the direction of those forests and hills.
All right, I'll just kind of say they came from that way and gesture off into the woodlands.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure if there are more of them, we'll get to meet some of their compatriots, and maybe we'll be able to take one of them alive to have a conversation with them.
Near the road is the post that obviously the vines grow up. Is there one kind of near the path or the road?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm going to string one of their heads up.
Okay.
And SPQR in the forehead using my dagger.
As you're getting about that, the guards rush up from the villa at this point, having heard fighting in the distance.
Oh, are we still in the villa's grounds? All right.
You're sort of you're.
All right, maybe I wouldn't.
There's
do
a long road
property.
full of vineyards that walks up to it, but you're still technically on the estate ground.
Yeah, I wouldn't do such thing on their grounds. That would be a bit rude.
They arrive and they're like, "Are you all okay? Is something happened?"
We were attacked by these 3, but clearly they underestimated us or greatly overestimated their own skills. Do you recognize any of them?
They'll have a look. Not immediately. I mean, they look like they're probably from around here somewhere, but no one I know. It's mostly worrying that bandits would dare this close to the estate.
They're not bandits. They're would-be assassins. They were targeting us specifically.
But they're having fun with Pluto now.
Yeah, guards are sort of unsure what to tell you or how best to deal with it, but they're like, is this something we need to deal with? Get rid of the bodies, or what are you gonna?
Yeah, deal with the bodies. We have other matters to attend to.
I'll let the Calvuses know that what happened here. And yeah, they'll set about dealing with the bodies.
As we walk off, Kaza would turn to Lucius and goes, "It's very interesting that as we were leaving that villa, 3 assassins with a note attacked when only the 4 of us knew we were coming here today."
It certainly is. They could simply have been shadowing us since they left the castra and they took their chance.
That does make sense.
But
that's why I like to bounce these things off you. You manage to put the pieces of these puzzles better together than I do.
It's always worth considering. It's a possibility, just a possibility, but it would make more sense of them shadowing us than anyone setting them on us knowing where we were.
Well,
I've also added a little handout with a sort of vague map that you received when you left the castra of the local area.
Yes. So shall we make our way back to the castra?
Yeah, we should.
We should, given that we certainly have found we don't want to be outside come nightfall, and I'm sure it's starting to get well into the afternoon by this point.
Yep.
Oh, we were going to track the witch.
Well, the witch has been seen both here and didn't I last time kind of figure out that the witch was based somewhere between here and
you
isn't there a set of tracks?
Or there were tracks
yeah.
pointing towards each other from here.
So you found some tracks here in the vineyard that were very similar to the tracks you found towards the forested area near the castra. After Aleko asked you to go looking, as he saw a shadow passing by in the night. And the tracks here were of very similar style, sort of like they've been retrodden in almost the exact same manner again and again.
Okay, well, I'll be using all my hunting instincts to keep my eyes out for any bad things with my bow drawn.
Yeah, sure. In that case, you can give me a hunting roll as you walk back to the castra. Is there anything else you want to do in the area before you walk back, or?
$10.
Yeah. As you're walking the roads back, you spot a few of those familiar figures on the hillside to your right as you're walking back. Yeah. they're far enough away that they're just small outlines of figures, spears and shields, but you can see 3 or 4 of them walking over the hills, roughly parallel to how you're moving.
I'll point them out to the others. Being
That is a
shadowed.
bit concerning.
Hmm.
They don't
Let us
appear
know
to
if
be
they-
approaching, but they do seem to be keeping tempo with you for a little while at least, till they disappear behind the crest of a hill. And you don't see them anymore.
Well, I think we're going to have to perhaps make our finding this witch our priority tomorrow if we can pick up our tracks again.
Hmm. If it is the witch that is, if it is this witch that is invoking whatever is happening here, then perhaps we will find, if we keep an eye on the surroundings tonight, we may catch further glimpse and a better idea of where they're coming and going from.
Aye.
Okay, so just heading back to the Castra now then?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be distracted from getting back.
Yeah. Okay. It's rather late afternoon when you arrive back. There's still some time in the day left before it starts getting dark. But yeah, not enough for you to go far from the Castra's walls. Aleko, you set them all to task in work groups to start shoring up the defenses before you left. Can you give me an authority roll to see how well they've done? Or a command, probably best let's have a look, command de societate. Yeah. Or
Okay.
castra de bello. If you just beat them into working.
I've got threatening Ender DeBello, so perhaps.
Yeah.
I think that's-
threaten. Yeah, sure.
That sounds more his
yeah.
more his style.
So before you left, you severely put the willies up them. And we'll see how well that did.
Let's see. 15.
Blimey, yeah. There are parts of the wall where before you were pretty certain you could have probably gotten over there without anyone noticing. Fresh pieces of wood have been put in. Things have been cleared out from in front of the wall as well. The whole place just looks... They've moved all of their lounging table and chair sets and everything they've been using to lean on or shirk their duties has been removed from the entire Castra. You can't see it anymore, and it doesn't look greatly defendable, but it looks slightly better than it did before you left. It looks like you might stand an hour of an assault now rather than just buckling immediately.
He looks, he sighs. And Kaza goes into the barracks to talk to the men.
As you arrive, 2 people greet you. 2 soldiers greet you at the gates as well, and open them up to allow you in, which is already an improvement.
Good job, men. I see that you at least tried to get some things done today. Well done. We'll make you legionnaires again, one way or the other.
Optio sort of in the center of the castra, looking like he's handing out orders to people, and everyone's doing something. It's just not apparent whether they're doing what they're being asked to do or whether they've just decided to fix things on their own and settle into a bit of a routine. Okay, so back in the castra, is there anything you want to do?
How long
before
have we
the
got
night
left of
falls
daylight?
down? Probably got 3 hours, 4 hours, closer to 3.
I might just have a scout around the nearby area, see if I can pick up any tracks of the witch.
Yeah. Do you want to head out to the tracks you found before? And then,
yeah, that'll be my starting point.
Yeah.
And Kaza
Okay.
would actually, he'd hit his bunk so he can get a few hours of sleep so he can be more rested for the night watches.
Okay.
Before while Kaz is inside, seeing over the men, and I will take a short walk before I even go into the castra across to where a couple of the original sort of dead legionnaires were buried, and where they showed me the spirits of them the previous night, and just look over the ground there and see if there's anything that has perhaps been done. Look to see if there's any signs of desecration against Pluto that may have allowed these spirits to return, or signs of possible magic use that allows this to happen, or even just to see that where they have been buried, the few that have been buried with proper rites.
Yeah. Problem. Okay. Well, we'll start off with Titus. As you wander over to where you left a little marker before to find the trail again. And yeah, it's still clearly outlined there. And it leads off into the forest in one direction and around the outskirts away into off to the east in the other.
I'll kind of go a bit more towards the forest this time.
Yep. Yeah. What are you doing exactly? Are you looking for something specific, or just any signs of someone's been up to something?
Yeah, I'm looking for signs of someone's been there, and if so, how, things like how long they've been there, what they're doing, whether they have a camp, that kind of thing.
Yeah. You can
And
give me an
if
explore roll.
If there's any of those weird herb bundles. Explore, okay. In theory, you can do that.
You're due for a good roll. It's got to happen.
It might eventually, but not today. Nine.
Initially, you find it fairly easy to follow. And you do notice that it seems to be heading towards certain plants in the forest and then off towards somewhere roughly towards the center of the forest. But after a while, you sort of lose it in the underbrush and you start getting turned around a bit. And you can see the way back clearly enough, but you can't really spot the way forwards towards wherever this is centered.
Okay, where I last saw the tracks, again, I'll leave another subtle marker that only someone like me would pick up.
Yep.
And I'm going to put it down to the fading light and then return to the castra.
Okay. So Lucius,
Yes.
you're standing in the fields outside the castra. Pretty obvious from afar where they've buried them. There's clear mounds of earth that have been dug up and then replanted afterwards. You can give me, what are you looking for exactly? Is it more, are you looking for something that feels more supernatural, or are you looking for something just disturbances or something that's out of place? AKA, are you going to go down the magic route, or are you rolling investigation?
I'm looking for something out of place, because I'm hoping that if I find something out of place, that might point me in the direction of if it's magical or not. And if it's magical or not, that's when I'll go and find Pendarin and ask him to look at it. But it's more to see if there's anything to find at all before I sort of start looking for exactly what it might be.
Okay, so yeah, you can roll investigation. Societate.
Yeah. So we've got which gives me 9.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Mostly it looks like the burial itself has been performed maybe hastily, but within
Correctly.
reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
However, the first major thing you notice is there's the grass around where it's been buried is almost, it has a layer of frost over it. It's almost like this particular area is frozen. Whereas the rest, you haven't seen any frost here. It's pretty warm, in fact. Even
the
at
fact
night.
That it's still northern Italy. It's not.
Well, it's sort of like close to the coast in Croatia, so
you wouldn't
it
expect
gets pretty
it to
warm
be.
in.
Yeah.
And
okay,
it doesn't look like the burial itself has
been affected,
gone wrong, or has been performed badly, that the necessary rites haven't happened. The ground itself doesn't look stirred either. There's just this pervasive sense of cold exactly where you're standing.
I'll spend a little time just there before performing sort of a short sort of remembrance for the dead, shall we say, and something to a small sort of call to Pluto to protect those that have died in Roman service, and head back to the castra and take Kaza's sort of suggestion by the fact that he's probably lying flat out in his bunk snoring gently by the time I get back. And
that's a fact. Yep.
Decide to and take a break.
Before you head back then, as you're performing this small rite of remembrance and ask for the blessings of Pluto for these fallen, Roman soldiers. Can you give me a Demagia roll?
Yep, that's nice and simple. That's all of D6. Two.
You feel a faint shiver between your shoulders, but other than that, it just, yeah, you can't feel anything changed. And you finish your rite and you head off back to the castra.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, what's Pandaran up to at the moment? Back in the castra.
Praying
Okay.
at that very small shrine.
Yeah. I'm gonna be nice.
Oh, you thanks.
It happens occasionally.
That's not true. It's a bit of a lie.
Can you give me a Demagia roll as well?
To give you a DiMaggio roll.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a 17. Oh, Jesus. Oh no, I can't roll a D1. Sorry.
Well, you're not going to make it anyway, I don't think.
Okay, never mind.
So, what you can do is roll a D4 for me.
D4?
Yeah. Basically, you're praying away. You can recoup 3 points of pietas.
Thank you. That's much needed.
I assumed as much, and you may need it more in the future. But yeah, you just like from yesterday, you've had this sense that the castra is safe, as a safe location. So maybe you've let your guard down a little bit magically, and you're not really exposed to the environment as much as you usually would be. So with that, you're closing in on sort of the last hour of between this twilight, the onset of twilight, and it getting really dark. Lucius, though, as you return, the Optimo is going to is it an Optimo? I keep forgetting. Optio, that's the one. The Optio Aurelianus is going to come up to you, and basically he'll start telling you about the great job that they've done rebuilding the castra. He's had work teams working continuously all day. They've done great work. They've cleared out rubble. They've repaired things that have been broken for ages. They'll say, and we also found all of these outside the walls. We've gathered them up here. We weren't sure whether to burn them or not, but and they've got a little pile of maybe 10 of those little bushels of herbs that no doubt Titus has shown you at some point.
As the Optio sort of extolling the virtues of his men, I'll just sort of be sort of gently nodding along, non-committally, and basically be ready to just sort of brush him off when we sort of get to a point in the castra where I can sort of they sort of go, yes, very good, Optio. Now, if your men can carry on doing that for the rest of their service, I'm sure that they will be a credit to Rome eventually.
He's a little, yes, of course. Sort of, kind of downheartedly moves off.
But if the point he pulls out one of the things, I'll sort of stop him and sort of go, can you show me from the walls exactly where you found these?
Well, I'll have to ask. I think several of the work teams working on different sections of the walls found them.
Speak with your men, work out where these were found, and once you've done so, bring that information to me. Bring that information to me at the commander's office. I'll be there. Hop to it, Optio.
Obviously, yes, immediately, sir. And he bolts off.
On my way back to the castra, can I try and sneak in? I'm basically going to test the defenses.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'll roll oppose to see how well they manage.
I'm sure they'll spot me given my rolling tonight.
I'm sure they won't, to be honest. They're not very good, as soldiers go.
Oh, that's actually not bad. 12.
Yeah, 12. No. You pretty much managed to move past two of them that are standing by that northern gate you went out.
Using that, am I also basically, I was going to see if I could get over a wall or something, a floor in the defenses.
Yeah, you can definitely find part of the wall that is still easily scalable, and you flip over and end up coming up behind them as they're standing outside the gate waiting for people to come back, aka you, because you're the only person they've seen go out of it. But suddenly,
Okay, I'll see if I can find Kazza anywhere.
Can I see if I can spot Titus coming back in instead of the soldiers?
Go for it. Yes. So that will be.
As at this point, I'm kind of waiting and looking for him to let him, because I want to speak to him. So see if I can spot him quicker before the soldiers do. What do you want me to roll it on?
I think usually most of the observation style roles are de societate, unless you have something in, for instance, hunting or something like that. Then I'd say roll de natura. One of the two groups, de natura or de societate.
Okay, I'll do de societare then. As the only way I can even equal it is getting a fate, but we'll see.
Oh well. Never know.
No, I am very distracted by something else.
Titus is also behind you now.
I'm gonna fire an arrow into the ground between the two guards.
They jump and spin around towards you.
And I'll just kind of shake my head and walk off looking for Kazza.
You hear one of them go to the other one. See, I told you I heard something earlier.
So yeah, you'd have heard that.
Yeah. Okay. Now that you're all back inside the castra, as dusk is settling in, what are you all doing? Are you all coming together, or are there still things you'd like to do before night?
I'm
If we're
going
coming
to wait
together, I'll
until I
join,
see
but-
Titus, and I'm going to sort of.
Probably would have seen me shoot at the two guards.
Flunk.
At least heard them. I'll sort of wave you over, and sort of basically hold up one of the things that the Optio had, and basically go, Titus, is this what you found when you were at the villa?
Is it?
Yes.
Yes.
That's interesting, because this and several more of these have been found by various of the soldiers while we've been away today, and they've been working on the outside of the castra.
Do the herbs in that match the ones that I saw being led to in the forest?
You can give me a hunting roll or herb lore if you have it.
I don't have herb lore, but I've got hunting.
Roll hunting, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. If you had herb lore, it'd practically be.
That's form.
Yeah. But you always start off with a 4, but then it gets better. See? It's
11.
not too bad.
You need to stop rolling d10s, Roger.
I
Yeah,
do. They are
pretty
not
much.
my friends.
Just roll lots of d6s, seemingly. That seems to be.
I should just roll all d3s or something.
You're not certain what herbs they are exactly, but they do look very familiar to the various bushes or sprigs that the footprints seem to be passing before you lost track of them.
I believe she is finding them in the forest over there, and I'll gesture off to. I tracked around a bit in there, and it looks like she's using it to gather, or the witch, whoever it is using that to gather the herbs for them.
Interesting.
Where'd you
Yeah.
find that one, Titus?
I didn't
Oh.
find that one.
Lucius, where did you find it then?
It was handed to me by the Optio. He said that that the teams who have been working outside the castra had located somewhere between 8 and 10 of these throughout the day.
In the middle of the
relatively
castra,
close.
there's a little pile of them that they've made.
Has Pandaran weighed in on this? Could they be some kind of ward against the dead? I mean,
Not yet. I haven't had a chance to speak to him, but we should certainly discuss it with them.
Also, Kaza, while I've got you, they need to reinforce, and I'll point over. I got straight through without being noticed.
Optio!
You hear a faint squeal in the distance.
We've got a lot more work to do in making this place defensible. They need to deepen the trench surrounding the place.
They also need reinforcements. I mean, with their manpower as low as it is, they really can't hold this castra by themselves anyway. They're going to have to be reinforced or removed back to Paulo.
Well, if they are going to stay here, they should need to entrench.
True.
Pandaran, what are you up to at this point?
Still praying, unless summoned to a group meeting, or sort out about the bags. Herbs.
I will come and find you sort of as the sort of, I'm guessing at this point they're starting to light the watch fires and the stuff. I'll come and find you as as they're doing that, and wait until you're sort of finished so I don't disturb you.
Oh, that's very polite. So I'll finish my prayers and kind of stand up from kneeling, but kind of making a point of being rather elderly and frail and having to dust myself off and maybe moan about his knee joints. And he goes, and what can I be doing for you, young man?
I will grin gently, considering that I'm sort of fairly advanced in years as well. And basically just hand over one of the things and explain what I've told the others and ask if there is anything that Pendarin knows of this combination of herbs or the fact that these have been found around the castra in the past day.
Can I make a roll?
Do you have herb lore?
No. Hold on.
What specialties do you have that you think would apply?
Oh, I do have herb lore. Sorry. I have a herb lore of 2.
Then, yeah.
And a denatura of 12. How do you pronounce that?
The natura.
Denatura. The herb lore of 2.
It depends if you're using English Latin or continental Latin.
And natura. Okay, so yeah, herb lore of 2 and a denatura of 12.
Yep. I'm going to let you roll the magia, but add your herb lore bonus to that.
So you got what?
So your magic roll.
Oh, okay.
But add your herb lore bonus.
All right, cool. That's 19. So
that's a strong number.
Start with a D12. 9.
Nice.
4 and a 3.
Sorry?
4 and a 3.
4 and a 3. Can I do
Or
a
a
6 and a
D7.
2?
Yeah.
Or a D7?
There is no D7, so it'd have to be a 4 and a 3.
But you could make it. Well, that's the beauty of Roll20. You can make a D7.
You could, but
I'll roll a D4, 2,
yeah.
And then a D3. 1.
So
12.
12. Yeah, no. Yeah. Both magically and in your knowledge of herbs, you have a sense that this is a ward against evil. They're all things that you would associate or burn or possibly use in a ritual if you were attempting to protect something or someone from harm that might befall it. And a few of them are even specifically from harm from those things that are dead but tend to stir every now and then.
Interesting. Kind of takes a sniff, sticks his finger in it, does a little taste. Oh yeah, it's definitely some sort of ward, and that you would use in a ritual to ward against the dead, the evil.
Since they were all around the castra and we've now taken them all up, should we put them back before nightfall?
Yes. Go put them back.
Nightfall is fast approaching now.
There was a reason why they didn't get in last night. This is probably it.
And
I'll take
yeah.
half and start doing it immediately.
Yeah.
Literally, just not even arguing. Literally, just grab them and just go
back to
Kaza takes the other half and goes the other direction.
Yeah.
as they go, I'll shout around them. I'll shout at least get them around the walls. Don't go outside, but at least get them on the walls.
I am unfortunately going to start adding your your tokens to the map.
That's always a bad sign. No, and the sad thing is we took that packet of herbs from the villa, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So that was
Oh,
probably
no.
protecting the villa.
Oh no!
We just killed the senator.
I mean, I did also find it quite interesting that you murdered all 3 of the assassins. And we're like, well, maybe we'll find something useful on them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no.
I think we
It's
have
also
an
an approach.
unknown ally that has not revealed themselves yet. Does
I
this
think-
have a sense of witchcraft to it?
I think the witch is. I think the witch is on our side.
Yeah.
It certainly has a sense of magic to it, but it's quite sophisticated magic.
I'll basically shout back to Kaza, turn left at the exit.
Yeah.
Just so we don't both go the same way.
Yep.
Don't all start running off yet, because
I'm not running anywhere. I'm staying where I am.
I'm not quite there yet. So, yeah. Roman guards in as well. The moment you pick up these bushels and start running as fast as you can towards the walls, a call goes up from the eastern gate first, as it is now already dark, and then from the not the eastern gate, the northern gate first, and then from the western gate. They seem quite worried.
Kaza will get up on the wall just as Lucius recommended, and he'll drop them over the wall along the north side.
Yeah.
Spacing it out so that he can make the whole vista.
If there's a call of an attack, I'm just going to basically dump them on the others and go, you guys take care of that, and unsling my bow.
Yeah. Can anyone who's trying to throw these bushels down along the wall make an athletics roll?
The athletics is under de corpore.
Yeah, de corpore. So, yeah,
Okay.
anything basically running in this case would be the most obvious one. You're trying to move very fast and get something done quite quickly.
Hang on. At what point did this call go out? Was it as we were leaving with them, or as we?
Yeah,
were at the walls
you
already?
sort of Pandaren explained what he thinks they are, and there was a collective denarii dropping, and everyone went, "Oh dear, we need to put these back quickly." As night began to settle in around you, and then the guards on the walls started shouting.
Okay, all right. In which case, I will give half to Lucius and tell him to take the one of the walls that we're not hearing calls from, and I'll head. I'm not quite sure which way round this is. The south wall, the one down here. I'll run that way with
that's the western gate.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll tell.
I'm gonna go with this one's the northern gate, and that's the western gate.
All right, I will
South,
go. I will take
east.
my quarter.
It's
now
easy for
to
me.
to the western gate because we need to get these out and fast.
Okay.
Oh, that's a terrible roll. I got a 5.
So for future reference, the next time you guys find something like this, don't take it. Come get me.
Aw.
I'm pretty sure I did bring it
they
in.
were
to show
trying
you
to
the
help.
pillar.
These were already gone.
Oh, drat.
These had been moved by the soldiers during the day as they found them.
Oh, that doesn't look good.
Yeah. Right. So,
Oh, hey, I've got a reroll, so I'm going to go ahead and use that if that's okay.
okay. So sorry, who's rolling athletics and who's trying to shore up the wall?
I'm rolling athletics.
I'm rolling athletics and then shoring up the wall. That's better.
Yep, I got an 11.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you managed to make it to the walls, and you at least throw one down. But yeah, from what you've heard, they were spread out along the length of the wall. So you have a small area around you wherever you move to. You can pick somewhere on the wall and put them there.
Just basically right in front of the gate, basically.
The gate.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
as you look out of the gate, you can see what the soldiers on the walls are shouting about. Last time you watched a ghost army pass by, and this time you can see not as many, but there are several of these glowing spectral creatures approaching. And they seem to be almost hemming you in.
Kaza yells down to the Optio, "Get the men to spread these out on the other side of the walls. Have them drop them over. We need to surround the castra with these bags again."
Okay. And where's Titus heading
So
to?
yeah, I dropped mine there.
Same.
And then
outside that gate.
I'll basically grab a nearby legionary and just tell him to give him half of the remaining ones and tell him to drop them on the south, heading south, and I'll head north, dropping them along here.
Okay. Yeah. As
just tell him
you're
to drop them
shouting
on the
commands, and as Lucius and Pandaren are probably also getting set to do something, you hear from in between your groups, somewhere towards the center of the castra, you hear screams of soldiers going up. And Pandaren, the moment the soldiers start screaming, you remember that spectral claw. It flashes vividly in your mind at that point.
Is there anything I can do to put a temporary ward up or something whilst they put these bags back in place?
Don't think you really have knowledge of any specific rites of, for instance, like exorcism or something. Most of your magical skills are based around precognition, foresight, that sort of around divination, seeing problems before they happen so you can deal with them, or as they happen so that you can find solutions, but not so much on warding off evil specifically. At the moment, there's probably little you can do to specifically like ward the area, other than making sure that if you're holding any of them, that will probably create an area around you that's protected.
I don't think I'm holding any because they would have all gone back.
No, because I've still got the half that Titus.
Yeah, I wouldn't have any.
No, but I will pass one to you. And then instead of heading to the walls, I'm assuming there is a central. Obviously, the castra, the image we've got is quite a bit bigger than it probably would, but there would be a central command, like a the commander's house, wouldn't there, or similar?
Yeah, that's that sort of office area that you were
Yeah.
using last time, where
Yeah. I will start
Occhio's
warding
been-
that building rather than taking it to the walls, on the basis that if we have to, we cram every soldier and us in to that place tonight, and we ride out tonight in the building, and then we properly reward this place in the morning. But it's probably going to be more effective to have that to fall back to than to fail to get them around the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah, good idea.
Okay.
Good idea. I like it.
So I'll start placing these sort of around here, which also probably suggests it will have be a quite powerfully protected area if it's concentrated. It's the other hope.
Yeah. You can also give me a running or otherwise moving quickly roll. See how many
corpore?
wards you get. Yeah, the corpore. Get down.
Five.
Okay, so you manage to burst through the door and put one behind you there, but there's these windows, there's a back door, there's upstairs maybe as well. And all the while, all of you can hear screaming and fighting. You can hear the clash of swords coming from inside the castra as well. And outside, Titus and Casa, you see this slowly approaching wall of spectral soldiers.
Did Lucius yell out his plan for us so that we know to fall back?
No, but I'm hoping I have a plan, and I'm hoping there is one there. Within the commander's office, is there a signaling horn?
Yeah, sure.
Given that the commander's office is probably the closest they've got to the Century Shrine. I was hoping it would be where that sort of thing was stored.
Yeah.
I will, if I get the chance, I will grab one and sort of sound out the retreat on, effectively the fall back signal on, and hope that people work out to fall back on the sound of the horn. You
all hear a horn sound out from somewhere in the castra, and then you hear a reply of this haunting,
the terrible horn,
keening sound of a horn echoing across the landscape out in the distance. Okay, what's everyone? What's everyone up to now?
Have we dropped by that point? Because I would have been sprinting around, just dropping them.
So you and Aleko can roll another athletics roll, and we'll say your result is equal to the people you've set in motion as well.
Okay. A 9
and an 8.
Yeah. You've both got another couple down. So at this point, a lot of this sort of area,
because I was going this way, and the Legionnaires were going that way.
Yeah, is protected, and you can see the figures in front of the wall stop for a moment as you're hurling down these bushels. There's still screaming and fighting coming from inside the castra. Pandaran, where are you at the moment?
Well, if I hear the horn, I will be hobbling to it. I'm not running. I'm not a runner.
You hobble towards this main house area where Lucius is currently trying to ward everything, and in between you and it is some form of lemur or larvae that is just a complete spectral figure. It looks like at some point it had the face of a human, of someone who died, but its fingers are extended in claws, and there's two of the legionaries trying to batter it off, but it's just ripping through them.
Well, I have one of these pouches, so I'm kind of hoping this is going to help. Can I use this pouch to ward it off? Like create a mini ward around me?
You can try.
That's what I'm going to try.
You're going to go stand next to it, or in like sort of where the fighting is happening?
Well, I mean, if it's between me and where I need to be, I'm going to present this, hold the bag, and
hobble forwards.
Very, praying deeply, and march forward and a sort of.
As it's over mastering these two soldiers, you hobble forwards in its path almost, and it hisses and shrinks back from where you are. But you see it sort of flitting away through the streets of the castra, attacking anyone else who's trying to retreat back to the central position.
This is going to be handy. I'll continue.
Yeah. So you're sort of at the gate area now, and several wounded people trying to pull themselves in. You could see down the main thoroughfare as well that where the shouting was originally coming from, there's at least 4 other soldiers that have died already or look like they're not moving in any case. Lucius, how's it going inside the house?
I will continue to try and sort of ward the building as best I can. And any of the soldiers that sort of find their way in, any that are capable of sort of continuing to do something without dropping down dead of their wounds, I will sort of throw them at them and basically tell them to take sentry points around the building, holding on to these, and that they will protect them. And if they want to save their friends, they will hold their ground in the face of them, to try and get as much coverage as possible.
Okay, give me a command roll.
This I can.
The Societate.
Yep, that's 14. So 14. Two D6 and a D2.
Yeah. D10 and a D4.
Given our D10 rolls, I'm not chancing for that.
2 D5s and a D4.
That might be better, actually. Seven.
Yeah. They're moving about it, but a lot of them are coming in injured and yeah. And they're moving slowly. It'll get done, but it's definitely not done yet.
That's so long as it's getting done, it's then a matter of getting as many people back here and safe, and then I can go to work on anyone that's injured.
Yeah. You can all hear shrieking and screaming still. The soldiers at the dead spectral creatures at the front of the gates have sort of stopped within what you get the sense of is probably the boundary of the wards, which is pretty close to where you're standing. Most of the soldiers on the gates or that were helping you have started retreating at the sound of the horn as well. And Aleko and Titus, you're there with a handful of bushels still left.
Yeah, Kaz is going to. He would continue to make his way around the walls, trying to drop enough ward bags, and expecting to meet either a guard or Titus somewhere over around the east gate, to know that we'd kind of circumnavigated the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you might not have enough now.
No. Well, I don't know that. Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm not aware of what Lucius has done, so I'm going to continue doing what I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah, go for it. Roll athletics. Keep going. Ooh, that's a fate roll.
Hold on. No, actually, I've got to roll. I got to roll one more d5. I meant to roll a 3d5. So
I'd have kept that if I was you.
No. An 11.
Yeah. So yeah, you get pretty much most of the way across the wall, throwing things down as you go. Titus got a 6.
Yeah, so what am I kind of like there?
Yeah, you're sort of up to that gate, the next gate.
I'm going to run out of them quite soon.
Yeah. But yeah, both of you are now very low on them because pretty much what you need to finish off this sort of length of the gate is pretty much what Lucius has on him in the building.
What Kaza would do would be to drop what the remaining ones that he has around the gate, figuring that's the weakest point in the wall, and then fall back towards the office.
Yeah. From what you can see as well, whilst you're up on the walls, both of you can both see the spectral creature that Pandaren saw. Any legionnaire that gets within any range of it is just being murdered, and it's hunting them actively. It seems to have moved over to this sort of area where you are now, though.
I kept one of the pouches in my shield hand.
Yeah. It is indeed between you and the office.
Does it look like it's been injured at all by mortal weapons? Have I seen it take any kind of injury?
You've seen people try and give good account of themselves, but it didn't seem to stop.
And didn't seem to get hurt by it. Okay. Well, Kaza would, once he was out, just had the one left in his hand, would drop off the walls and with sword in hand, and he's got the pouch in his shield hand. He would just start stalking towards the thing to see how this is going to play out.
Okay, you can move towards it. It sort of hisses around you in a circle, but it is circling you, and it's trying to block your way. Pandaren and Lucius, what are you doing?
Are we at the office?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I suppose we better start holding up. Unless we can see.
I'm guessing we can see this because it should.
Yeah.
Or someone will alert us to this fact.
Yeah, if you're at the top floor of the it's not, most of the buildings are just one barracks
one level.
kind of area. So this office house is the only bit that has this sort of upstairs. If you're there, you can see pretty much what's going on across the castra. But yeah, you can see sporadic fighting as these spectral creatures seem to be crawling over gaps almost in the wall. They seem to be taking specific areas where they could worm through. And Casimir is facing off with something that looks altogether unnatural and very much unalive.
The courage of youth.
or just realizing he's in a very screwed up situation. But
Casa, we shall miss you.
He was a good soldier.
By this point,
Ty-
have we got most of the remaining living
There's
members
about 7 or 8 soldiers in there with you at the moment. You can hear, or you can also see a lot of the ones retreating are moving towards you, but they seem to be getting, now that more and more of them are getting stuck, tangled up with this small spectral host that is moving over the walls.
Move in.
Right, okay.
And
I think I've got a plan. I want to temporarily, because it's not something I'll be able to keep up for a long time, extend the ritual bubble of the ward around the office to push out the unliving attacking the legionnaires, to give them a moment to kind of like reprieve. So using the pouch I already have, I will try a ritual.
I will let you. How are you going about your ritual? It's going to cost you a lot of pietas, and it's going to be pretty difficult.
Yeah, I figured. Okay, so...
But you can do it. I'll say it'll cost probably about 12.
Oh my god, that's most of it. I know, I've got 19. Okay, so...
Dan, there is always the thing that generally the herbs are good, but what do you do if you want to ward something off? You burn them. The power of the smoke spreading is often what's done. It would destroy one of them, but
well, we'll use the one that I've got with us.
Yeah,
because we've still got the one. So I will prepare.
You're going to burn that one.
Yeah, is there some sort of incense bowl I can use atop a fire, and so I'll kind of scatter the ashes in it.
I will, because I like the idea, I'll drop it to 9.
Oh, okay, cool. It wasn't my idea. Thank you, Lawrence.
There you go. Yeah, well, helping each other, that's what the custodes do.
Okay.
I'm violently murdering their enemies, but,
Can I add my herb lore to it?
I think in this case, no, because you're trying to do something actually magical. You're calling on the gods for assistance. You're not quite sure what you're doing either, because you've never done this before.
Calling on the favor of the gods.
Yeah, and you're hoping that they favor you and this smoke billowing out.
All right, that's 18. I'll go with a D12 again, and then 2D4.
That would be 20. Anyone got a re-roll for Dan?
Well, let's.
You're muted, Aaron.
Yeah, if you've got the 6 additional pietas, you can.
Yeah.
I've got that. I've got my
Blessing of
Phoenix
Apollo.
thing.
It's
Yeah. I was just thinking.
basically it's going to cost you.
You'd be up to 18. You'd be up to 18 pietas, but you'd get to roll a D36, basically, right?
Yeah, true, yeah. Invoking your.
I will do that. D36.
3D10 and a D6, or
I think you're right. Let's do that.
No, right. Well, it's got no more than 3 dice, though, right? So 3D12.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yes. Better.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Okay.
No, that'll do it.
I've got 1 point left.
Who's your titular deity?
Hermes, wouldn't it be? Or am I
Apollo.
Apollo. Yeah.
You feel as you call out in hope and desperation, and the smoke sort of wafts a bit in the room before dissipating. You feel the touch of something almost like sunlight or something similar, and the smoke starts to billow out ever stronger and thicker until it's wafting out through the windows out into the streets around you, and it is creating a sort of sphere around the inner streets, just beyond where Casa currently is, where Titus is, and you can hear shrieking and keening as you assume that the creatures are shying away from it or moving away, a retreat from this inner circle that you've created. You're not sure you're going to be able to hold it for very long because you're feeling very tired already.
Yeah, I think he'll try and hold it as long as he can, and then he'll probably just collapse in a heap on the floor.
I'm guessing I've probably run out of these things now because
you're roughly like you could probably put 1 more down there, and then
I'm going to keep
whatever you want to do now. Oh right, yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to have 1 tied to my belt and then have my bow out, and everyone seems to be running towards the middle, so I'm going to head that way.
Yeah, at this point you can also see masses of smoke bellowing out from. It's a weird kind of cloyish blue smoke as well that smells of various herbs.
As Pendaran's doing this, I will basically step outside the sort of main doors of the office building with the horn, sound the retreat again, and then in the best voice I can do, I will, the loudest I can project, I will basically give the command, soldiers of Rome, form on me now, protect your fellows, stand against this.
Yeah. You can see these figures sort of like leaning on their spears. Some of them are using their shield to drag themselves along, but they're all moving towards you now. And there's probably another 6 or 7 of them that are moving towards your position through this smoke. You can see their shadows popping up. And
if
Titus.
I see anyone wounded, I'll grab one and drag them.
Yeah, as they get closer, I'll sort of go out into and sort of start helping as many as I can back inside as quickly as we can get them inside.
Yeah. Okay. And finally, Casa.
Casa mumbles a prayer to Mars under his breath and charges at this spectral creature to see if he can either strike him down and get past him into the smoke or force him out of the path with the power of the ward and get into the smoke.
It hisses as you approach, but refuses to budge, and you can see a reddish outline along the bluish spectral form, as if it's searing in pain, but it's still coming straight for you, and you're heading straight to it.
Kaza yells out a invocation to Mars, begging for his blessing against this abomination, and he will strike out with his blade.
Go for it.
And so I am spending, to be clear, I am spending 6 pietas to roll all my dice twice. And hope. Okay, so the first set gets me a 16, and the second set gets me an 11, so a 27.
Well, there's not much chance I can beat that, but I got close.
Wow, nice. Okay, so 10. So that's times 4. If it does any damage to it, I don't know, but that's 32.
You can roll for damage.
$17.
Yeah. Where your sword slashes through it, it just sort of evaporates and reforms around it. But where your shield moves up to parry the claws coming in, you see them light red, dissipate in a black puff, and then reform, and it shrieks. It looks like it's injured in some way, or could at least be harmed in some way.
Okay. And so he's just...
It comes keening in towards you again. You hear someone shout from behind you, "Idiots!" And it bursts almost immediately into flames.
Nobody sees it. Picasa is like, "God damn, thank you." He looks over his shoulders to whoever yelled "idiots."
Yeah, there's a woman who has entered through the gate behind you, which was locked. So how she got in, you don't know. But her hand still held out towards it as it dissipates. And I think, yeah, as you turn towards her and the glowing hand and the smoke billows out and the Roman legions form, injured but uncowled around Lucius, Pandarin and Titus, I think that's where we'll leave it for tonight.
That was a lot of fun.
So, yeah, thank you everyone for playing, and thank you for watching. I don't know what's on the rest of the week on Garblag, but Aaron will definitely know because he's in most of it.
We've got Dune tomorrow, same time as this was, so 9 p.m. Your guys' time.
GMT.
3 p.m. Central Standard Time, and then at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, we have possibly the finale of the Romanian Imperative for Auction Cthulhu, where we're going to steal a super secret Zeppelin and possibly fight giant robot Nazis. You can't beat that.
Yeah.
And then Friday, I believe Ben is going to be running Monster of the Week, but using the Glitter Hearts rules, as all of the monster hunters are back in high school. And I think that is also starting at 9 p.m. GMT.
Okay. There you go. Yeah. Thank you everyone for watching Garblag Games. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe and join us on Discord, watch us on YouTube, or come and join us on Twitch. Thank you to my wonderful players again, and from us, good night, goodbye.
Thanks, Liz.
Bye.
Night, everybody.